Good morning, cool cats and kittens. Today is Saturday, November 22nd, 2025. It is 10:25 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm coming to you live from the mean streets, the very foggy streets. I can't know if you can see that out the window or not. The very foggy streets of Portland, Oregon. I like to say we live in Beaverton because we do live very close to Beaverton, and it seems like we live. Dude, Portland. I just feel like Portland's got a bad rap. I'm like embarrassed to say I live in Portland, but I shouldn't be that close-minded. Uh, Lots of beautiful people. Everyone is a beautiful person. Everyone is a beautiful person. So of course there are beautiful people here in Portland as well. Good week this past week. But first, honestly, I want to start with a story. I want to tell a little anecdote that occurred to me when I was tripping on shrooms the other day. Been hitting weekly shroom trips for the most part if I'm not traveling back and forth to LA and getting deep and dirty here in the woods of the Pacific Northwest. Listening to the universe. I swear to God, man, when you are on psychedelic experience, I mean, I know I keep reiterating this. This is not exactly the story I want to tell, but, this is how this shit goes. I'm just going to ramble. Dude, there's way more going on to reality than we can perceive. Our current human, let me draw this analogy. I think we're like an ant in an anthill, and we be human beings. And our perception of reality is that we are an ant in an anthill. But actual reality, and that, like, that's it. Like an ant in an anthill, his whole world is in an anthill. All he knows is this anthill. I don't know what ants do, dig tunnels and shit and bring food back to the queen or something. They don't have any perception that they're in a forest, a neighborhood, a city, a town, a state, a county, a country, a continent, going out and out and out. The same applies to us as humans. We're an ant and an anthill, and I think we think that we're living in our town, our state, our country, planet Earth, planets beyond planet Earth. I think that's just the beginning. And not even, it's so hard to articulate in like the like feeling or ideas I have. I don't even know if I have like I don't know if our language, we have the words in our language to describe kind of what I'm feeling and thinking. I don't mean that in any sort of like arrogant way. It's just, once again, that matches up with the analogy of ants and anthill. Like language progresses, primitive languages of grunts and clicks or whatever did not have the ability to describe human consciousness or international commerce or whatever, complicated nuclear physics, right? The language evolves, we evolve, everything evolves and keeps growing, and we are in a state of evolution. And like, it's not like this is the end, like, oh, we're the end point, we're human beings, we're gonna spend all eternity dominating the planet or whatever. No, dude, we're just like a step along the way of whatever the fuck is going on out here in the universe. We're an ant in an anthill, and we think what we can perceive with telescopes and shit is the anthill, but it's we don't even know what we can, perceive. And that includes spiritual understandings. This isn't just about physical reality, this concept. This is very much as well about spiritual reality, psycho-spiritual reality, metaphysical reality. Like I think there's much more realities than we even understand. And I know that kind of sounds complex, but I actually think kind of the like truly beautiful thing about all of it is that I think it's at its heart, it's very simplistic. I think there's kind of a simplicity and calmness and peace underpinning it all, and perhaps that is what we know as God in our current conception of a creator or whatever, a divine force. But that exists as well. I don't know if that exists as well. There is this. Once again, I don't want to like put the conversation in the box of like monotheistic religions or whatever, but there is like there's a God force of some kind, and I think it's in us all. Like we are a direct manifestation of it all. So we have the God force within us. But we also have the devil force within us. Man, K-pop demon hunters taking over the planet, right? If you have kids or not have kids, you know about K-pop demon hunters. Actually, I've heard all the songs 1,000 times. I've never seen the movie. Finally, JoJo and Emmy have seen the movie. The two beautiful little angels I take care of. And we were listening to the songs yesterday in the car, and JoJo was explaining to her, or JoJo's kind of explaining how the movie works to me, in that there's characters in the movies that are hunting demons, but in fact they're demons themselves, and that's kind of the message of the movie. And JoJo, at 6 years old, explained the theme of the movie so eloquently and perfectly to me and her little sister that she told us, she's like, yeah, some of the demon hunters, I don't know the exact plot line, whatever, but the good guys in the movie discover that, in fact, they are part bad guy. And that is how life works. And it doesn't matter if you are a quote-unquote good guy or bad guy. If you have the demons in this movie, right, they have like marks, I think, on their skin or something, which is interesting because I have these veins. And I got reminded of, I have these crazy veins on my stomach. Have you seen it? They're like, oh, that's like my mark of the demon. Anyway, JoJo's explaining that, like, yeah, we all have demon. We're all part demon. We're all part God. We're all half good, half evil. And she was explaining to us that it's incumbent upon us to choose. We can be either of those things. We can be God, we can be the devil. So those things do exist. Good and evil do exist. And it's incumbent upon us each as individuals to make the choice through the execution of our free will and divine discipline and effort, or however you want to describe it, to do good and be good, to be the highest versions of ourselves. Because we are capable of both good and evil. That kind of brings me into a story of this guy right behind me, Coach Mike. Mike McDonald, head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. I met this dude in 5th grade, I think, 4th, 5th grade. He was, and is, obviously, like a superstar of a human being. Like, we're all made of stardust, right? We're all made of, from a physical standpoint, like the remnants of exploded stars. And stars are born in, like, actual physical stars out in space are born in a stellar nursery. And, you know, not all stars are destined to become a sun with other planets circling around them, the leader of a solar system. Some stars burn too hot and they explode. Some stars burn too dim and never grow to the full size of a star. And for what I understand about physics is that in order to be a star, you kind of have to be right there in the middle, once again, right in the middle line between good and evil. And you can become a sun. Perhaps a solar system develops around you. Planets start orbiting you. Life develops around you. You are the source of life, just like a god, within your solar system or community. We, just like stars, able to produce infinite or, whatever, massive life within infinite life within their solar system. We too, as human beings, once again, comparing the analogy that we are gods or we are the sun or whatever, continuing the analogy, are able to produce have that same effect here within our own orbits. But once again, like JoJo taught us, it's good and evil is within all of us. It's up to us to choose and find that balance, to find the right path, the right course, that Goldilocks zone. And then you can become a leader, and you create life, you create greatness, you create things orbiting around you. You create your own solar system, your own universe, right? And that doesn't have to be the head coach of this dude's going to win a fucking Super Bowl. You don't have to be the best coach in the NFL and be a Super Bowl. I'm just telling you all the truth, man. This dude's going to win multiple Super Bowls. It's going to happen. Like, this guy's going to go down as perhaps the greatest coach of all time. I've been saying this for years now, and it's just something I feel on the same level and know on the same level of the things that I know when I get downloads from the universe when I'm on troops out in the forest. I just know. I've known this guy since he's a child, and you just recognize it. When you see it, it's interesting. I don't know how to explain it besides that. Anyway, I want to tell a story about this dude from last season. The story occurred to me when I was on shrooms the other day in the forest. Shout out Coach Mike. And all of my friends, actually, I haven't done a bad job responding to my text this week. Coach Mike, I appreciate you responding to my text. You're a great dude. It honestly means a lot to me when you do. And I apologize to I keep making this commitment. I got to be on my text. I got to be on my text communication. And I slip, man. I don't know if I've responded to my text in several days now, but I'll get on it right after this. I promise. I'm sorry, everyone, if everyone responded back to you. But I think I actually have responded back to Anyway. Coach Mike. I went to the Rams Seahawks game. The last game of last regular season, Coach Mike's first season as a head coach in the NFL. The Seahawks beat the Rams to solidify a winning season. I think actually a 10-win season they had last year. But unfortunately, narrowly missed the playoffs. So it was a bittersweet kind of vibe. But truly, I mean, for a first-time head coach, a remarkable season. And Coach Mike was gracious enough to meet up with me after the game in the bowels of SoFi Stadium. And I felt very fortunate as well that his one of his older sisters, her husband, and their young son was there as well to meet up with Mike after the game as well. So the four of us there waiting to meet Mike. We finally do. Lots of Seahawks players mingling around. Greats. Seahawks greats like Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker, Big Cat, Leonard Williams. We're standing around. The season's ended. Once again, good feeling in the air because they won. Been a really successful season for first-year head coach. But also, they didn't make the playoffs. They didn't, achieve probably their highest level goals. And it's also a time of great transition after a first-year head coach comes in. There's going to be change, especially as that coach gains more and more autonomy and demonstrates his success. His vision is going to start to dominate the entire direction of the franchise. And the old vision is going to start to fade away. And there's a player in the Seattle Seahawks, who's no longer there, named Tyler Lockett, the first name I think I just mentioned. A Seahawks legend, wide receiver, incredible player, both on special teams and as a wide receiver. And I got to know the Seahawks have a little bit of a documentary series that kind of follows the team around during the season. Plus, last season I was big into listening all to the players' press conferences, following everything I could about the Seahawks in Coach Mike's first year. So I got to know kind of Tyler Lockett through the media, whatever, and he seems like a very good human being, a very mature, a leader of men within his locker room, a son, a star within the Seahawks locker room and probably within his own life, a great human, elite human. And I'm standing around, chit-chatting with Coach Mike and his family, and particularly of interest to this story is his little nephew. We're tossing balls back and forth or something. I brought some stuffed animals just as little gift for Coach Mike's newborn son, his nephew. And Tyler Lockett comes over. And it was one of the most interesting interactions I've ever seen in my life. Because Tyler Lockett is a giant among men. And I know Coach Mike, and Coach Mike is a very serious human being. I mean, he's a super giant among men. And we're just seeing, he's just scratching the surface of what he's going to demonstrate to the world. Seattle Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald. But I've also known this dude since he was in 5th grade. However, as a little boy pre-puberty, I was watching football with this guy. We loved football. We idolized football players like superheroes. And so also I can see in Coach Mike, who's actually the leader of Tyler Lockett, technically his boss, I can see in Coach Mike still this little boy who is in awe of all these superhero football players, even though he's their coach. But then Tyler Lockett's coming into Coach Mike, and he is in awe of Coach Mike because just like I can see the greatness in Coach Mike, Tyler Lockett sees the greatness in Coach Mike even more so because he's just spent an entire NFL season under his leadership. So Tyler Lockett knows that Coach Mike is the man. But Coach Mike knows that Tyler Lockett is the man. I'm sitting there looking at both of these dudes both of y'all are the man. I'm a privileged just to be smelling y'all's farts. No one was farting. It was just a stupid joke. I don't like fart jokes. I don't know why I made it. Meanwhile, Coach Mike's nephew is sitting there in total awe of both of them. Really not even awe of Tyler Lockett. He doesn't know Tyler Lockett. He's in awe of his uncle. But not even because his uncle is the coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Just because his uncle is his uncle. There's a beauty. There's a major lesson in this story. And it's, once again, the profundity of the story occurred to me when I was on shrooms. And so I'm going to try to articulate what it is. Perhaps if you're listening to this, you can already understand the profundity, is that the word? The significance of the story, the power of the story, the message. But it's like let's just take the triad of these three individuals, Coach Mike, Tyler Lockett, their nephew. Coach Mike is in awe of Tyler Lockett because in his heart, Coach Mike's a little boy who loves the NFL and loves football. Tyler Lockett is in awe of Coach Mike because Tyler Lockett, an elite NFL football player, knows that this guy's an elite in coaching mind. So it's like he knows that this guy's going to go on to greatness and going to have a career as a head coach that's even longer than Tyler Lockett's was as a player. Tyler Lockett knows that. But then the little boy's looking at his uncle, just in awe of his uncle because his uncle's his uncle. And then Tyler Lockett walks away, says goodbye, says like ultimate words of respect. Dude, Tyler Lockett, who's one of the greatest NFL players of his generation, like thanks Coach Mike for like, I don't even know exactly what he thanked him for, but like basically his existence, it seemed like to me. Because Tyler Lockett knows that his contract's out or that he's not going to make the roster next year. He's a big contract. He's an aging player. I know that Tyler Lockett's getting cut from this team or whatever. He's not going to get re-signed. I don't remember the exact details of contract. I knew that going in. Tyler Lockett knows that. Coach Mike knows that. They all know that this is Tyler Lockett's last game with the Seahawks. And there's no sort of animosity whatsoever. In fact, the exact opposite emotion is being displayed from Tyler Lockett to Coach Mike of pure respect and love. No ego from anybody. Tyler Lockett walks away after offering his gratitude. Coach Mike offers his gratitude. They're both kind of like the Spider-Man meme of like, no, you're the man, you're the man, you're the man, you're the man. And then little boy looking up saying, no, Coach or Uncle Mike, you're the man. Tyler Lockett walks away and Coach Mike turns to us in the group and he's like, because I think he was playing catch, his nephew was playing catch back and forth with Tyler Lockett. Coach Mike makes some comment like, I forget his nephew's names, my apologies, but he says something like, my nephew will never like, if only he recognized the significance of playing catch with Tyler Lockett. Coach Mike thinks it's so cool that his nephew is playing catch with Tyler Lockett. Coach Mike is the coach of the Seahawks, you know? They're all just like bathing in each other's like greatness in this loving way. And I'm seeing their periphery like, y'all are all awesome. Not to mention, probably the most awesome of all is this little boy because, you know, he has the joy and innocence and eternal potential of a young 5-year-old, however old his nephew is, with loving parents and a loving uncle. And you know, it was just, I don't know exactly what the message is here, but that like everyone was admiring each other. I had the blessed opportunity to recognize like, you're all amazing. And I'm not saying that Tyler Lockett doesn't know he's amazing or Coach Mike doesn't know he's amazing. I think they both are the type of men that know they're powerful men in a very humble way. The little boy, it is our job as adults to let all of these children know how amazing they are. And that greatness that they see in their uncle or that they see in Tyler Lockett or that I see in Coach Mike or whomever you respect in your community or on this planet, that greatness lies within you. But just like JoJo taught us about K-pop demon hunters, also evil lies within you. So it's incumbent upon all of us on a daily basis, on a second-by-second basis, to recognize that the ultimate, whatever we want to achieve, being the head coach of the Seahawks, being president of the United States, whatever it may be, that potential, that ability, that greatness lies within you. But so does the power for the exact opposite, to be a homeless person, to be a murderer, whatever it may be. Anyway, I guess that's kind of all I got for... no, that's not all. Maybe I'll ramble a little more, but I don't know. That story was reoccurring to me on my shroom trip and throughout the past week, that this power lies within us. And then yesterday, as I was taking the girls home from school, JoJo relays to us this powerful message that, yes, greatness, both good and bad, is in all of us. And it is incumbent upon us to choose who we want to be. And men like Tyler Lockett, men like head coach Mike McDonald have done a phenomenal job of choosing the good within them. And they are demonstrations to us on a daily basis of what we're all capable of. I think that's actually all I got for today. My life continues. There's nothing that I could tell you about my week this week. Anyway, I love you all. I'm leaving it there. I'm getting out of here. I'll talk to y'all next week. Go Dogs. Go Seahawks. Mwah. Oh, namaste, and I love you all. Be good.